All right, so we are live on the first ever Nebraska Farm Boy live stream. All right, I think okay. I might have started out early there, but that's okay. This is the first ever Nebraska Farm Boy live stream. I hope you'll put up with some glitches and some awkward pauses and all kinds of stuff like that. Um, I'm super excited to be hanging out with you today. Hopefully, we can answer some questions. Just hang out, get to know each other a little bit better. I'm kind of all right. Hello, Calman. Um, uh, okay, here we go. I'm gonna try to stay focused here. So yeah, hopefully we can hang out today and answer some questions. I'm thinking that this will go for probably about 15 to 30, maybe 45 minutes if we're really going well. But we'll see where it goes. So I just want to start out by saying thank you to all who made getting to 500 subscribers possible. I see I've also got my sister in the comments. Hello. Definitely go and check out her channel as well. I feel like I'm really distracted here. It's been a blast, this whole YouTube experience. I'm not going to lie to you. There was a time I thought that getting to 500 subscribers would be easy. I thought that I would get to people would love my content. And turns out there is a lot of content on YouTube, and you've got to be pretty good in order to get in front of people. So I am very thankful to be at where I am today, even though it has been more work than was expected. So thank you all to all of you who made that possible. All right, so we don't really have any questions in the comments here yet. So I figured I would show you a little thing that I found at a garage sale, which happens to be a camera case, which is not very exciting because it's just like an Amazon Basics camera case. But I turned it into my EDC med kit. So essentially what I've done here is for this front plate where you have the battery charger. Sorry, I just bumped the microphone. I have some gloves and some folded gauze. For wound packing and whatnot. And then over in here, I've got my trauma shears, my a chest seal, and a cat tourniquet, all put in there. Eventually, I want to replace the tourniquet in there with a outside on the waistband carry, so for faster access. But for right now, that's worked out really well. So yeah, that's kind of what my latest project has been. So yeah, that was that. I guess I was not as prepared here as I thought I was. Well, I guess we could also look over here at my other carry, which happens to be a couple more tourniquets and a compression bandage, as well as some more gauze. I carry this along with me when I feel like, hey, maybe something could go down, and I wanted a little bit more than the smaller EDC I've got there. So yeah, I guess that's kind of what I've been up to here recently. Today was a pretty normal day. Did the chores, did some more weeding in the corn. Always more to do there. Yesterday, actually, we've got a video coming out on this here soon. But we had some. Well, it was yesterday. Well, it was 2 days ago, I should say. 2 days ago, we had a pretty crazy thing happen. We had some really strong wind come through, and it blew some of our chicken tractors all around. So that was kind of crazy. We had one fly about 200 yards, but thankfully all the chickens were okay. So yesterday was spent getting all those put back in place. And my sister asked a question that she already probably knows the answer to. Are those knives you made? Are those knives you've made in the background? Some, half of them. I can't say that I made the folders. I bought those folders. This one was an older one. This was my first carry, what I started out carrying. And no, I did not make that. I did make this one. I showed you guys that one in a video, and these two, you've seen both of these in a video as well. Oh, and I guess this one's kind of cool. I recently found this one at a garage sale. It has it's in pen, so I couldn't really prove that it's from 1940, but it says it's from 1940. It was made by Kent Knives in New York City, USA. Not really familiar with that brand, but I saw it and I picked it up because I thought, hey, it's kind of a cool little piece of history. Then I guess and then over here, the bayonet I've got back there. Some of you may have seen that before. That is, I don't know exactly where that came from. It's a Civil War era bayonet. I had an uncle, a great uncle in the Civil War. So I don't know if that was his, because it came from a different great uncle and it was given to my grandpa. So I'm not really sure where exactly that one came from. So yeah, it's kind of a go through of all the knives in the background. Oh, I guess I didn't mention my latest buy, which is this Kodiak folder. It has a 4.5-inch blade, and you guys all know that I bought that because it was a massive knife, and I can't resist buying a massive knife. All right, so what else have we got here? I guess coming up in another, I guess I could show you, we're coming up in another video. We're going to have an update on my EDC. We've kind of got a lot more stuff on the belt instead of having it in my pockets. A year ago, I was carrying my pliers in my front pocket. Now I'm carrying them in a leather side sheath. I recently added a 5/16 nut drive to my EDC because I do a lot of work with waterline and stuff like that. And then I added a flashlight, which is a very cheap flashlight, which needs to be replaced. And then all these holders just came from various garage sales and stuff where I can pick them up cheap. And then this is my medical that I carry for around the farm. Okay. How many working acres do I have on the farm? Let's see. That's a really hard question to answer because we rent some from my grandpa, and that changes. I believe, this is going to sound terrible, but I don't know exactly. I think we just bought some. Okay, we've got like, it's like, the original piece, I believe, was 80 acres. Okay, the original piece that we bought. And then we recently added on 20 acres maybe. So I think overall it's under 100 acres, but not too far under 100 acres that we're doing right now. All right, Shadow Blaze TV, you showed up. I'm so glad. I know that it was late for you, so thank you for showing up. Are you okay? So basically, what is my EDC when I go out of the farm? Okay, so this is one piece of my EDC. And then I also carry this obviously in a sheath. Then usually I'll carry this as well. Though sometimes I'll replace this bigger knife with, let's see, here it is, this smaller throwing knife. So basically, when I go out and about wherever I'm going, I like to have one combat fixed blade, a folder which can be used as a combat blade, and then I like to have one throwing knife because that's just how I roll. I know that's a little bit odd, but that's kind of just the way I am. So that's basically my knife EDC. The medical that I showed you first, this is definitely what I carry. I never want to be without some kind of medical because, you know, you can carry knives all day long, but, you know, if you watch somebody bleed out, well, you could have done something that's going to make you feel pretty terrible. What else do I carry? Carry a flashlight. Always carry a flashlight because you will, you wouldn't want to get into a fight at night without a flashlight. And plus, I mean, I know this sounds like I'm just a tactical country hick, which I kind of am. But I do carry all of these for practical purposes as well. And then I also carry what I carry in my pocket, which is, I'll just show you all that right now. all of that junk. Okay, all that junk. All right, so that's kind of what I carry when I go out. Oh, I also carry a pair of pliers, a smaller one, though I don't usually carry it on my waist, at least not when I go to church and whatnot. Yeah, my sister. He tries to make me take knives with me when I go out. Guess that's because I'm his sister. Yes, that is very true. I always make sure my sisters are armed, at least when I have anything to say about it. They carry folders because they will not let me make them carry fixed blades. So yeah, that's basically my EDC for when I go out. Though sometimes when I do go out, I do actually just stick on the tack belt. Like if I was going garage sailing or somewhere in my small town, I'd be like, who cares? If you don't like the fact that I'm wearing an army belt, that's fine. I don't really care. Kaylee says, I don't want to look like I'm carrying a sword. I did not say you need to carry a sword. It was like literally a 3-inch blade that I made her. And she said that she didn't like it. I think the real reason is it's uncomfortable. Yeah. But on that note, she carries a knife. But I also make sure she carries pepper spray just because I think it's more likely that she would actually use pepper spray as opposed to a knife. So that's kind of where she is right now. All right. Sorry guys, I really should have had more topics here. I didn't think if I didn't talk so fast, I probably would be able to keep up with my topics, but as it is, I talk really fast because generally speaking, I'm trying to get all the words out in like a standard form video, and people don't really want to, don't want to be hearing all the empty space. I'm trying to think. There should be like stuff coming out in the future. We're finishing up the ladies survival series in 2 weeks. We're going to be putting out our 2 videos there. So that will be fun. And then we're going to be moving on to basic knife skills for the protector, I think. And then also what's coming out would be basic ground fighting. And right now, what we've got out is basic strikes for the protector. So if you happen to be wanting to get into fighting and whatnot, that's a really great place to start. Okay, Keely has a question. If you didn't have a weapon with you, what object would you use that was just around the room? Whatever was closest to me. I could use my baseball cap. I could use... I would use whatever was closest to me. Like if I didn't have a single weapon in the room, which is kind of funny because I've got like weapons everywhere throughout here, I would probably use my water glass, which is a quart jar because rednecks always drink water out of quart jars. So yeah, it's like whatever happened to be closest would be the weapon I would use. The thread on the wall. Oh yes, I should probably explain that. The thread on the wall is not there in case someone attacks me. The thread on the wall is actually because I am in the sewing room right now, which also happens to be the editing room and everything else. But when you live in a big family, basically every room has to have multiple purposes. All of us boys bunk together. And so, yeah, you can't waste any room. And this was the quietest place. I got all the siblings to go outside where the noise would not be filling this entire room because that's basically what it would sound like if they were in here anywhere. Yes. Yeah, that is the truth. I would sooner have my hands in my feet than have some nonsense in my hands. Let's see. I mean, I guess we've also got a knife build coming out. Oh yeah, I did actually get a new belt sander for hoping making my bevel smoother. So hopefully we can now put out some more pretty knives as opposed to just knives that work. I made one so far and I was really pleased with how it turned out. So yeah, that's coming up here soon. It's a very cheap belt sander. It's the Wen. It costs about $60 on sale. Probably more like 80 off sale. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to be showing you guys that in the future. Yeah, so kind of keeping to the theme of cheaper, how to build a knife on a budget, just building, just kind of amping up the ability to do that well. Oh, it looks like my little, oh, never mind, sorry. On my screen, it looked like my little icon was backwards. I was going to apologize for that, but never mind, it's okay. Let's see. I guess I'm going to look and see what other videos I have. Give you a little bit of behind the scenes. Well, I don't have as many videos coming out. Yeah, I kind of told you everything I have coming out. Let's see. Any common questions that I get asked a lot? Let me look at my comments. Yeah, let's see. Sorry, this is getting kind of awkward. I'm really trying to keep this going, really trying to think of different topics. Oh, let me think. There's got to be something else that I've been doing here recently that would interest all of you. I filled the room up with knives and I got all these different things. And I literally went through everything that I had in this room before 15 minutes was up. So I'm kind of, giving myself a little bit of a hard time here. Yeah, Kaylee, that's perfect. Anyone else have a question? But we've got 5 people watching, so it's fair. I get it, guys. I'm not like trying to pick on you. I know that you can only ask so many questions so fast. Your question is banned from YouTube? Okay. Okay. It's really yeah. So Shadow Blaze TV asked, I think it's a question. You live in the US and you don't have a pistol. Okay. So that has to do with my age. I don't generally give my age out on YouTube. But since there's only like 3 people watching here, I think it would probably be fine. But really we'll just say I'm under the age of 21. So in the US, you can't actually carry a pistol until you're over the age of 21 or older, which is really ridiculous because you should be able to carry at, I would say, 17. But I'm not the one who makes the laws. So yeah, does my dad have pistols? Yeah. But for me personally, no, I can't carry a pistol right now. So that's why I always carry knives and learn how to throw knives and all that great stuff. Yeah. But yeah, at 21, I will definitely look into carrying, because recently we had a law change, which means that here in Nebraska, we don't actually have to have permits to conceal carry anymore, which is perfectly it's like what the Constitution was made for. So yeah, so basically we have constitutional carry as of September, which means that anyone over the age of 21 can carry without a permit. So basically it's like, we're going to see a really big rise in carry here in the US, well, at least in Nebraska. With that, I think, at least for a short amount of time, because that kind of takes away the problem of having to get a permit as well, which is really nice. Hopefully that made sense. I think I kind of went off onto a tangent there. Let's see. I kind of think that the next live stream will probably be at 1,000 subscribers. So maybe we have a few more people so that we can keep the comments rolling so that I don't start going on to tangents. I'm sure I'm boring some of you guys. Well, there's 4 of you. I don't know. I know that I'm actually there's 3 because I have it pulled up over here. So I know that one of you is my sister, one of you is Shadow Blaze TV, and the other one of you is me. So I don't know who the 3rd person is. Maybe it's Calvin. Yeah, you are my loyal people. So I'm glad you guys are here so that we can chat. But I'm just saying, hopefully we'll next time have more questions in the comments so you guys aren't bored to death. Oh, okay. Oh, Kalman says a stop the bleed or equivalent class would be a plus to my training. Yes, indeed it would. I'm hoping to take one of those classes as soon as possible. So far it just hasn't come up quite yet. So my training I will admit, has come from YouTube mostly, plus live training. I definitely make sure that when it comes to tourniquets and whatnot, I train with those tourniquets. I have one of those cheap Chinese tourniquets. So I train with that one. But yeah, I agree. A stop the bleed class would definitely be good. Plus CPR and maybe, I don't know what else. I have thought of going into being well, it's a volunteer thing around here, but doing sorry, I lost it. Of EMT, yeah, volunteering for EMT so I can learn some more basic medical there. Just haven't quite got to that point yet. Okay, so do you think buying a taser would be better? Is I think that's what you're trying to. I think that's what I'm getting out of that. Personally, I don't like tasers. I think that knives are more effective just because you can incapacitate an attacker faster with a knife. Taser, you're going to need to get it either on the neck or you're going to need to have a really wimpy bad guy attacking you. Generally speaking, I do not recommend tasers. They are nice in the way that they allow you to have a lot of maybe more push, like if you were smaller and you didn't want to use a knife, because a knife does require you being able to actually use it, because they're not an easy thing to use, I admit. So maybe if you didn't want to use a knife, a taser might be an okay option, but I would sooner probably use something like pepper spray or something like that. Okay, Calvin, tell a funny farm story. Yeah, that was a good idea. I should have thought of that myself. Funny farm story. Off the top of my head. Oh, I'll tell you about a ram that we once had. Okay, so we had just got into raising sheep, and we bought, I believe it was 10 sheep, some ewes, and 1 ram. Okay, and the ram's name was Buster, and he got mean, and we didn't do anything wrong. Me and my brother didn't do anything wrong except for tease him. Okay, so yeah, basically he got to the point where he would ram anyone who went into the pen, and then he would follow you and he'd just try to trip you the whole way back. And so it got to the point where I was like half my size at the time, and he would come up behind me and hit me, and I would fly 2 feet through the air and land on my face. And so we were always then he started doing it to Kaylee and to all my other siblings, and so that was not good. But Dad didn't really believe that he was as mean as we told him, until one day we were working cows, and he literally, Dad was leaning over and he literally face planted Dad. And then Dad knew that the ram was very mean. And so that was the beginning of the end of Buster. I mean, we haven't had a ton of mean animals on the farm. Kaylee's talking about the rooster I made mean. Oh, this is like really showing the badness of my youth. Yes, I also made a rooster mean. I was even younger back then. I thought that since the rooster was being aggressive to me, I needed to, come back at him with a response. And that was a bad idea. And I was even smaller back then. And so one time he literally tackled me and pinned me. Like I was pinned by a rooster and he was pecking me. And it's a funny story now, not funny at the time, because you see, after all of these incidents, I got into trouble because I had teased the animals. But yeah, it's kind of funny to look back on now. But yeah, those are basically the meanest animals we've probably had on the farm, which is nice because, they weren't going to hurt anybody. A rooster is not going to kill somebody, neither is a ram. So it's been pretty good on the farm as far as mean animals. But yeah, kind of funny stories to relate. Trying to think, probably another time that something funny happened. I mean, I'm sure. Basically, most things that are funny on a farm are very not funny at the time of that they happen, but then they're really funny to relate usually. One day the rooster chased me on my bike and took me down. Yeah. There was once I went on in a head-on confrontation. I was gonna, box, go fisticuffs with the rooster, and the rooster won. Another time, the rooster was chasing me on my bike and I went down, crash. It was a sad scene, but it was really funny to relate now, after the fact, like basically 10 years after the fact. Yeah, so that was that. I guess there was couple times, I don't know, I'm really stuck on this mean animal thing now because it's kind of fun. It's like not funny at the time, but it's really funny to relate afterwards. A couple times I was coon hunting. I just got my call, and I didn't really expect it to work, and it worked a lot better than I thought it would. And I literally almost had a raccoon on top of me before I realized that he was charging me. I actually didn't get a shot off at him, but I got the light on. He turned around and ran. Another time I was backed up against a cliff. I guess it's not really a cliff, but we call it a cliff here in Nebraska. I was backed up against one, and I had the call on, and I didn't realize it got so dark I couldn't see through my scope, and I literally had a sow coon charge me, and I had like a bolt action 22 Magnum, and the thing jams every other round. It's really accurate out to 100 yards, but it really is not good for close quarters combat. So that was a kind of a scary one, I guess, as well. Let's see. Another time, now I'm thinking, like, I think of all these tarot, like they were not funny at the time. Like there was one time I literally lost the disc off the back of our tractor, and it like all the hydraulic hoses were snapping and popping before I could get it stopped, and it was pretty bad, but we were able to get it fixed. And Dad comes out and he's like, well, let's see, he was out there, and he's going away with the spring tooth. He glances over and it's like utter chaos over here, and I'm like super upset. We literally had a bolt that was this like a foot long in there, and it had the nut screwed all the way up there, but it came off all the way, and it was an utter catastrophe. But we got actually, let me think, did we ever get that one fixed? I think we cut our losses and got another one. Let's see, anything else? Well, looks like we're just about coming up to 30 minutes. So we made it through to 30 minutes. I want to thank you all for coming over and, watching this. I know that this was probably not the most fun, I guess, to watch. I'm getting used to all of this. Hopefully next time will go better. I do plan on doing this again in the future because this was a lot of fun. I really liked going back and forth with all of you. Hopefully I, was able to answer your questions and keep you entertained at least to some extent throughout most of this video. Hopefully next time, definitely we're going to plan better. We're going to have a ton of topics. I'm going to have like a whole page full of topics. And we are not going to run out of topics again next time. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully, well, no, I already went over there. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time, either in a live stream or in a video. So thank you. We will see you.